Hello, everybody. Should I just give a general update on what's going on my end?
Oh, sure. Is everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, great. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things happening here behind the scenes with the marketing side. I think a lot of what you're seeing right now with this price move is there are several individuals who are taking a really big position in BitShares X, and these are a combination of the marketing guys and their friends, some wealthy individuals, and they have apparently there's several $1 million already spoken for that's trying to get in right now, and the only reason it's not already in the system is they're limited on how much Bitcoin they can buy each day, that kind of thing. So I know one guy in particular is buying $50,000 a day. It's just as soon as his Coinbase allows him to. That's just in BitShares X. So, they've told me that between their friends, they've probably got $20 million ready to go into BitShares X. So the move that you guys, are seeing right now in the price, I really believe it's just really the very beginning. And this is not because of any marketing we've done. We're furiously building and getting everything ready for the main funnels, which are going to go out and kind of bring the public into this space and kind of teach them about BitShares, and people who have no clue about Bitcoin are going to be using BitShares X and getting their shares and all that kind of stuff. And that's all going to be coming online in the next couple of weeks. One of the cool things they're doing is they're doing this free webinar next Thursday, and we expect to maybe get upwards of 1,000 people on that call. And these are going to be people that are not even active on our forum. These are just people that are really interested in what we're doing, and we're going to teach them step by step how to get their BitShares X, how to get safely come up with a password and to back up that password and back up their wallet, and basically everything they need to kind of get in the door. We're going to teach them on Thursday. And then we're going to take the training in place. We're going to do ongoing training to teach people how to do these kind of things. And like I said, the marketing has not taken effect. This is just kind of rumors are getting out there amongst people that are in the know and that have deep pockets. And they're, getting in as much as they can, kind of getting their position ready. And these marketers expect it to go a lot higher than it's gone already. So, and I do too. I really do. I think we'll go past Litecoin pretty quickly. And we only need to get to 8 cents to do that. And the marketing gold right there is enough to, get the whole world talking. I think that we're going to be, number 2 dog. So very exciting stuff happening. I could go on and on and on, but this is it's all coming together now, and the main goal with the marketing that I'm doing now is to get the average person to care, first of all, and to get interested in what we're doing, and to figure out what is BitShares X and what is BitShares, and people who have never even heard of Bitcoin are going to go straight through our marketing funnel, essentially.
Well, that sounds good. I do have a question regarding that. Do you have any considerations for how are you going to be advertising this? Is it just going to be through the forums? I noticed that we have a lot of Twitter activity that's been ramping up. So if there are individuals here who have Twitter accounts, we could all follow each other, and we could point ourselves to a certain location to check for updates from you, Brian, and we could all retweet them. I know that that's how they usually do it for pump and dumps, but we don't want to pump and dump. We want to actually bring value.
Yeah, the social media is very important, but what I'm learning from these guys is that search, SEO, videos, press releases, that kind of stuff is even more powerful. These guys own one of the larger PR companies on the web, and they are going to be distributing unlimited number of press releases for us for free. We're going to be producing a lot more videos. We're going to be producing videos for keyword searches. So when you go on and somebody says Bitcoin as an investment, for example, they put that long-term search in, the first thing that's going to come up is a video of me, say, interviewing Daniel and saying, what do you think of Bitcoin as a long-term investment? Boom. Daniel gives a 30-second response. We put it up there. We have a short video. And now we're the #1 ranked for that particular search. There's another example where they showed me there's a ton of people searching. Strangely enough, they put in bit space coin because they don't know how to put it in there. They put Bitcoin mining. The numbers of people searching for Bitcoin mining is off the chart. So all we got to do is come up with a video that has to do with Bitcoin mining. We talk about Bitcoin mining, and essentially what we're going to do is we're going to hijack the traffic for Bitcoin because nobody's searching for BitShares, and then we're going to make sure that we're at the top of every single list, and we're going to be outranking everybody out there for search, and that's a very key. And press releases are ranked higher by Google. In fact, we just released a press release yesterday, and within 1 hour, we had 400 views. And that's because we were on, I think we're on the second page of Google, but they told me it'd be on the first page of Google in the next day or two. And then we're going to continue to release these press releases, which are just, nobody's doing that in the industry. Nobody's utilizing, this kind of stuff. So, we got a lot more things that we're trying to do, but these are just some of the ideas that we're working on. And essentially, when you search Bitcoin, you're going to see BitShares. That's the main plan. Social media is very important. We definitely want everybody to start sharing things on social media. We're growing that, but you don't really find us on social media unless you're looking for us. So, we don't want to just keep preaching to the masses. They're preaching to the choir, so to speak. So there's many different ways that we can market that people aren't doing right now. And we're looking at all those different venues. We also have a way to kind of funnel and attract several million people. And I can't really get into how we're going to do that, but we have the ability to attract millions of people within a very, very short amount of time, and put them directly to our sites where they can learn about what we're doing. And these guys are experts at doing just that.
I'll just go ahead and say that a dance video with Miley Cyrus might help. But go
sure, why not? That'd be great. We'll come up with our own crazy celebrity to endorse us.
Torch USD.
Actually, we'll get Dan to dance with Miley. That'd be great. So yeah, it's really exciting. And what I've been doing is I've been reaching outside of our industry to experts that are in totally different fields that kind of know whatever that might be, like say SEO, and they're experts in that area, and they're going to help us kind of get to the next level. And I'm bringing these people in saying, look at what we're doing. You guys should be interested in this. Show us what you guys know how to do. Let's partner together. And that's something that hasn't been happening. Everybody's kind of, it's kind of like a big circle jerk. All the people in the same industry, talking, trying to outdo each other and be the coolest kids in the class. And I'm like, hey, dude, if we're going to change the world, we need to get out there and tell people why they should care, why they should get involved. I was telling some of the team members this earlier on our call. It's like, until people know why they should care and what's in it for them, this doesn't mean anything. It's not going to mean anything to the world at large, because people aren't going out of their way to find a decentralized whatever like BitShares X. Nobody cares. So in general, nobody cares. So what we're going to do is we're going to make them care, and we're going to get people in the door, kind of like Steve Jobs did when he said, I create products that nobody knows they want. So we got the product nobody knows they want. We're going to tell them why they want it. We're going to make it easy to use. And we're going to get them in the door so that they can start using it, even if they have no idea what a blockchain is. They're going to be using it. And we're also going to we have a way that we can get, basically, our shares are going to be given away. We're going to give away some shares when somebody downloads a wallet, but it doesn't have to come out of our pocket, and it doesn't have to come out of the Angel Shares Fund pocket. So that's really cool, too.
That sounds awesome. Do you mind if I ask a real quick question here?
No, I ask away.
I watch a lot of news, and a lot of the news that I watch is alternative media. It's not the the 3 channels that are owned by the same people that are constantly splayed across our television sets. But the general consensus is, what you hear from a lot of them is you hear a lot of gold bugs and silver bugs and in the background on alternative media who are really concerned about the economy and all these different problems that are being faced. And every time I listen to these, I keep thinking to myself, my Lord, if only they knew about these decentralized exchanges that are coming online. They have the new silver fix in London that's coming out that they're trying to push. And you have all these different mechanisms that the powers that be are trying to employ. And it seems like these decentralized exchanges have the power to really fix these markets once they get to the point where they're robust and resilient. Do you guys have any plans for focusing on that demographic, and are there any other specific demographics you are looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things we're doing is that we're going to target specific, let's say, interest groups, special interest groups, and that would be anything from political groups to people that are precious metals to options traders. We have access to a list of 300,000 options traders. So we send those people to BitShares X, and a large number of them are going to sign up and want to use it. We are looking at particularly people, whether you like them or not, people like Glenn Beck, people that have a big audience that are already a little bit anti-establishment, the big banks, all that kind of thing, and figuring out, could we advertise with those kind of people? Could we get on there and tell people to come check us out? So we're looking into all that. I guess one of the particular guys has already done some stuff with Glenn Beck for advertising, and we looked at what is the guy's name on RT television, the crazy guy. Ethereum was on there. Can't think of his name now.
Max Kaiser.
Yeah, Max Kaiser. We already tried to reach out to Max Kaiser. Nothing happened. I think that the Ethereum thing, he did the interview with them, and I don't think he really got what Ethereum was trying to do. But we may be on one of those kind of venues, but even if we have to pay for it, and it's like a sponsored kind of thing, like a commercial. But that's longer term. Right now, we have plenty of people that we can go and directly talk to and directly get this in front of, but we're not ready to send them through yet. So it's going to be over the next month or two, we're going to start getting these people kind of through the system. And one of the things that we're really working on, this is really, really exciting. This is the thing I'm most excited about, is we're going to build a one-stop shop place where people can go to a site, download BitShares X, get their free shares in the wallet, register their name, do all that, and they can also add shares to it without ever leaving that website, without ever signing up for an exchange, without ever buying Bitcoin. And we're building that right now. So that's going to be a huge barrier to entry removed, so that you could just go to a site, and it might be, thefutureofbusiness.com, and you just start reading about, or it could be, revolutionaries for change, or revolution for change, and it's people that are say political, the people that are third party people, libertarians, and they're going to the site and reading all about political things, and then suddenly at the bottom of the site it says, do you want to learn about the revolutionary new financial world? Check out BitShares X. So it kind of funnels people depending on what their interest is and tells them how this is relative to what they're interested in, and then you don't need to go anywhere. So there's no, as soon as the average person goes to BTER or something, they're done. They're not interested. They're not coming in they're not going to get involved. They're just not. And the only people that are going to get involved are people that are already into this kind of stuff, and very technical people. And so we're going to make that really, really simple. And so you just, you're educated, your hand is held every step of the way. And at the other end of the funnel, basically, you now have BitShares X, you have your shares. You can do it for no risk because it's free. And then you can start telling your friends about it, and then your friends are going to start trading shares with you. And guess what? You're using the technology, and you don't even know exactly what it is, which is fine. People can learn as they want to learn,
So they'll be using dollars to buy those BitShares?
Once we get a gateway set up, they're going to buy probably they'll get USD to BitUSD is probably the preferred method, and then it'll transfer from there into the wallet.
So it's kind of like a faucet of sorts, and then they can also buy into.
By the way, the goal of having BitUSD as the on-ramp helps the entire system. You don't need to sell people BitShares X. You just need to sell them BitUSD. And every person that owns BitUSD is supporting the value of BitShares X.
Yes. So yeah, the plan is to get them, in, and they won't know that they're using an exchange. It'll be on the back end. So we'll have an API that ties in with these exchanges and does it all for them. And these guys were saying every step that you make someone go, each additional step you make people go through, the more percentage of people drop out and don't use technology. And that's true of anything. The easier it is to use, the less steps, the more likely people are going to use it.
So you would cooperate with someone that has a banking license?
Yes, we're going to talk to several. We're actually right now talking to several exchanges to find out which one is going to be our USD to BitUSD. That's going to be our biggest challenge, which we're working on right now. We got plenty of exchanges that are ready to shortly that are going to list us. We're on 4 exchanges now. I think we'll be on like 8 or 9 very shortly total. But we need a USD to BitUSD.
Okay, great. And I got another question. So the marketers you're working with, and they are mainly helping you to get the CEO and the whole online and Google marketing right. But it's not. So what I have in my head still is the infomercials and stuff. So what are the channels they are helping you with?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. The infomercials, no, we're not talking about any kind of infomercials, although they are partners with people who do infomercials. They know those kind of people. We're focused on getting us highly ranked in Google SEO and creating and then working with lists. Creating a lot of content and get the most content on the internet so that anywhere you search for content in the industry or Bitcoin, you're going to find us.
That makes sense. Okay, great. No, because I just had the discussion of about the infomercials in my head, and I always thought, what are the channels those marketers would promote BitShares on? But now it's clear. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to rule it out that one day we might do an infomercial, but no, I don't. I mean, there's some guys doing an infomercial for Bitcoin, which will be huge, I think, when you have an infomercial where the average person can get involved in Bitcoin. And
I think they might try to upsell on BitShares for the Bitcoin infomercial if we can convince them.
Oh yes, well, I mean, if you want me to talk about that, I'll talk about that. I mean, they work with Kevin Harrington. Kevin Harrington is the guy that founded QVC and the Home Shopping Network. He's done some of the biggest product launches on TV ever, and he is doing the Bitcoin product. I don't know if it's an info product. I don't know if it's it's a DVD or I don't know, something that you download. I have no idea what the product is, but he'll probably sell several million units of that, and then everybody that gets sold on that product will then be told about BitShares later on. They'll be offered BitShares X, and then they can go and get involved with us. And if there's 30% or 40% of those people convert over, then you're talking hundreds of thousands of people in the door just on that one avenue. And that I talked to Kevin last week and briefly about this, and it's not there yet, but it's a possibility.
Well, that's pretty big news. I mean, the Home Shopping Network is also a demographic, generally speaking, that is going to be hard to hit in any other way, because a lot of them are, housewives is a large one demographic.
Yeah, his demographic is not the Home Shopping Network. His demographic is anybody on an infomercial that he's marketing to. I mean, you can market to any demographic with an infomercial. So, I predict he'll be very successful with that. And I mean, there's a lot of people sitting around that have heard of Bitcoin and they're just sitting on the sidelines. They're not getting involved. And, you see a really awesome 30-minute commercial that tells you why you should get involved and how easy it is. Then you're going to send your $9 or whatever it costs to get your little product so you can get in and get started.
Makes sense.
So honestly, as excited as I am to have met Kevin and, that we all met him and that he's really a big fan of ours. And I think he really likes the BitShares music concept, because he's connected very well and very highly connected in the music industry, and he's partners with Paula Abdul and a whole bunch of Nas and a bunch of people. He's honestly, that's not even the biggest news. The kind of stuff that we're working on is way bigger than that, and way bigger. So I predict that we don't even need to really go find that many people, even though we're going to try to find new people on Google and that kind of stuff. We don't need to find that many people. We've already got, like I said, we've got millions of people direct. We got their email addresses. We're ready to send them information as soon as we get all this up and send them directly through and into BitShares X. And it's a hard offer to turn down, because it's like, hey, free, come download this thing, get free shares. Why would you not do that?
Yeah. Have you guys taken into consideration any potential scams that might pop up? Similar to any other web service that you log in, you get a phishing email that takes you to a site that looks exactly like our site. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Or even worse, looks like the login of the wallet.
I can't speak to that. I don't know much, if anything, about security. Maybe Dan could speak about security. I have no clue what to tell you on that.
Well, there's always going to be phishing attacks, and the more that happens, the more justification it is for a system like ours. So get rid of passwords, get rid of websites that you log into, use the wallet to log into everything. But the most we can do is try to educate users.
Yeah, so, I'm very excited by what's happening here. I don't know if you guys have read the BitShares X site, the About page. I spent the last couple of days I basically scrapped it and started over. If you go to BitShares-X.info, it's the DAX Unlimited site. I rewrote the About page for them. And I wanted it to be more like what is the story? What is, no technical babble, not just why should the average person care about this and get involved? And I want to keep putting our focus on, why. What's the why behind it? Why are we doing this? And as long as we focus on the why, and that we really want to get out there and change, the way things, reimagine everything, I think was our slogan for a little while. It's like, if we really are going to reimagine everything, let's keep our focus, keep innovating, keep building, but let's also remember why we're doing this. We're doing this for people. We're doing this for not just a small little community of the people, us. We're doing it because we really want to see people use it. And if we believe it's something that's an improvement over the current system, then we need to get out there and tell people that. And I really believe that once people get it, Bitcoin has always had a horrible, there's no one's really taken the charge on Bitcoin and got it clear in people's minds, and people have attempted to. But I think we can do an even better job to get people to understand what this whole crazy crypto world is, and then once they get it, they want to get involved. And one of the things, I had a really good conversation with one of these marketing guys, and he said, Brian, the average person that buys products on the internet, the average American, whatever, has like a 4th grade education. He said, I hate to tell you that, but that's just the truth of it. And unless you can write to them at that level and make it super simple, not just to them, but also young people. I mean, young people drive trends. That's who drives the big trends and the big companies. I mean, look at, all these, Snapchat and all these apps that are coming out right now that are just huge. A lot of them are driven by young people and college age people. And so we need to make sure we speak to them as well. And so I'm really trying to focus on message and purpose and, all that kind of stuff, so that we don't get too down a rabbit hole where the only people that want to use it are people who are highly technical.
Makes sense.
Now, if you guys want some entertainment, we are being called the biggest scam in the history of mankind.
Oh yeah.
The great BitShares, the great Satan on the blockchain.
Is that George Soros?
That's somebody on the next forum. It's also on
Bitcoin Talk. I saw the image of Bytemaster there with him, and you know what? I look at it this way, man. Controversy is a great way to build a brand. I promise you, it is. I mean, if you look at Donald Trump, the guy, like, most everybody hates him, but the dude knows how to market himself. I mean, you look at Howard Stern. You look at, I put a post on the forum about this. Look at Miley Cyrus. You think Miley Cyrus is a train wreck? I'm telling you, she's got handlers. She's got people that are very incentivized to create stories and nutso stuff so that she stays in the news. It's all part of marketing. It doesn't look like marketing. Yep. That's how good it is. And so Miley Cyrus is this crazy train wreck that everybody loves to hate or hates to love. But you know what? She's on top, man, and that's okay. I mean, Lady Gaga, controversial to a lot of people, and I think that if we're controversial, we already are controversial because we're saying mining's going to die and Bitcoin could be replaced and there's better technologies and all these crazy things that Dan's been spouting for a while that people are finally starting to say, maybe he's right. So I don't have any problem being controversial because at least they're talking about us. I'd rather have a lot of haters and a lot of wild, crazy fans, and that's a great way to build a brand. So as long as we're not, trying to crush anybody or be better than anybody, I don't want to be negative at all. I don't want to necessarily tell,
the reason I bring it up is not to, that it's bad. I'm kind of just amused.
Oh, I know.
I just think that people should be aware of these are the types of things people are saying. And, what is the response to it? Primarily, it comes down to that BitShares X is a debt-based monetary system with a, I guess they basically, the Federal Reserve has its board of directors and it's basically saying, it's got the 101 Delegates Act just like that. And it can decide on the money supply and all these other things. It's very interesting.
Can't be forked.
What's that?
The Federal Reserve can't be forked either, though.
And you can't vote your Congress out in instantaneously, which is what we can do with DPoS.
Yeah, essentially. And these are definitely
And the shareholders of the Federal Reserve are a secret cabal rather than the people. So the interesting thing is that for those who don't like debt money, all right, just use BTSX as the money. If you want to speculate relative to your non-debt money, BTSX, then go ahead and speculate on the other things. You don't have to use BitUSD as your currency.
Here's the thing. We are going to be way more controversial in the future than we are now, and here's why. Because BitAssets is the Bitcoin killer. BitAssets is where it's at, and when we get to the point where we have the discussion as an industry, is there a replacement to Bitcoin? Is there something better than Bitcoin? Is there an alternative? And people start saying, well, maybe what BitShares is doing is an alternative. You're going to have a lot of controversy because these miners aren't going to go away quietly. I mean, they've got way too much invested in the status quo. And Bitcoin technology is already an outdated technology, and DPoS is where is the future right now. So I think that as we get closer, as we surpass Litecoin, people are really going to start talking about it. And we're going to get more and more loud about our message, which is, hey, look, mining is not where it's at. There's other alternatives. You need to look at what we're trying to create here, and just kind of put it out in the public that maybe Bitcoin will be surpassed by something, and that's going to be extremely controversial.
I'm going to go ahead and bow out at this point. Brian can answer any other questions that may have.
Thanks, Dan.
We're going to try to get a few more fixes in there.
Yeah, hey, Bytemaster, before you leave, if I could ask just one or two of the Reddit questions, I'd like to keep people who aren't able to attend, give them just the ability to ask a couple questions and have them answered, if that's fine, like maybe 2 or 3 minutes.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Joint Venture was the first to post, and he asked a walkthrough on how to use the BitShares toolkit library would be very appreciated. I've managed to compile the toolkit, but it's hard to guess how to use it. Maybe this would be good. A simple example showing how to construct a Hello World DAC using the toolkit. Is there any
That is not something I could possibly answer here, but the desire is once we've stabilized on the design, we want to refactor some things before the toolkit's ready for others to use, particularly how the database works. A lot of our refactoring is probably going to be centered around Turing completeness, if you will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a work in progress before we get to that point. At this point in time, the most we can do is say, here's how you can clone us, and these are the variables you change, and now you have a BitShares X clone, and from that point on, there's a few things you can do to customize it for your own rules. But yeah, right now it's not for the faint of heart.
Roger. And then the final question that I would ask, and there are 5 questions, but people, for those who are listening, who want to put up questions here, I try to get 1 or 2 of them in. As you can see, you might not be guaranteed, but the upvotes help. The second one would be from Gingerbread Man, and he's saying, with regards to the GUI and the UX, can there be a total column added to the tally to tally up the total funds of all accounts in the wallet?
Yes, I believe that's planned for the next major overhaul.
I can talk to you guys about that because we have a new design on the GUI, and it has exactly that feature.
Sounds good, Brian. Thank you very much.
The goal is for the user to select their own currency of choice and see their balance converted to that.
That's nice. That's a nice way of doing it. Well, thank you very much, Bytemaster. Please feel free to bow out and keep on trucking it, man. We want to be on that island.
Which one, Australia or Hawaii?
Well, what's keeping us from both?
Can I ask a very quick question?
Sure.
It's about actually multi-signature. Are you working on this, or is it rather on a higher position on the to-do list, or any plans on this?
The blockchain technically supports it. The wallet doesn't make it easy to implement right now. We're working on the usage pattern there. Multisig is a tricky proposition. You have to propagate the half-signed transaction to multiple parties and get them to sign it. And we'd like to make that easier. That's probably going to be introduced as part of our next major wave of lightweight clients that use basically a mail server or a notification server for notifying you of new transactions. And once we have that, then when you do a multisig, you create a multi.
So that if you guys want to hear a little bit about the GUI redesign, I can tell you about kind of what we're trying to work on here.
Please.
So some of the things that I was looking at with the GUI that aren't on there that we're going to try to incorporate is one of them is a net assets kind of thing, where essentially it takes all your accounts, adds them together, it tells you the dollar value or the euro value or whatever currency you want, so that you know the real world value of your account. Of course, if you want to keep it in crypto, you can, but you can change really anything you want. And it does the calculation for you, so you don't have to figure out, okay, what is this worth? But just be able to, as soon as you sign in, you go to a dashboard. Your dashboard tells you your account value. And on that dashboard is also going to be charts. So you're going to see charts of things like BitShares X or PTS or whatever. You might see the chart of the top 3 DAX that are out there. One of the things that I came up with was something called the BIA, which stands for BitShares Industrial Average. It's going to be like the Dow Jones of the BitShares universe. And so we'll have a whole, well, basically that'll average together maybe all of the DAX or add them all together, or it'll be the top 100 DAX, who knows. So that's going to be something in there. So you'll see some charts. The other thing is we'll have news right in your dashboard. So you'll see news coming out from us on a regular basis, and then we'll have a sponsored news tab. And the sponsored news will be a place where people can buy that little spot, and it'll put additional revenue right back into the system. So that will go to the shareholders. On our account page, we're going to have it much, much simpler to use. It's going to look nothing like what it is now. It's going to be just real intuitive. I got some really cool designs made up. I'm not ready to show them yet, but believe me, we're working on the background to make it like as good as any software out there. You know, very, very intuitive, easy to maneuver, and yeah. So we're going to try to incorporate those things.
We were actually looking at Gamey, Jabba, and myself are working on something called BeyondBitcoinX.net, and it sounds like you have some similar ideas to how we were looking at doing things. Are you going to be able to surf the web or browse the web or essentially use your wallet to traverse to a website like BeyondBitcoinX.net and essentially log in through the web interface? I mean, the interface.
I can't answer that. I don't know how that would work. I do know that Dan says there's a way to do a news feed, so the news goes into when you update your wallet, it automatically update the latest news. But whether there be like a way to browse or anything, I don't know. I doubt it. Who knows? I have no idea.
Sounds good. Yeah, I would, maybe offline we could talk about it a little bit behind the scenes. I don't mind talking about it here, but I don't want to steal all the...
No, I don't mind showing you what we've kind of come up with. It's a work in progress, but you know, for me, the first time I really started using BitShares X, I was like, wait a second, this is not that intuitive. It's not that easy to use. And so I just talked to Dan about that, and I was like, hey, can I just kind of run with some ideas for designs? Because I'm not a technical guy, but the front end, working with Cass on doing some really cool designs. I've been looking at a lot of different software out there, a lot of stock trading software like TD Ameritrade, stuff like that, and seeing, okay, how do they do their apps? It's a very complicated thing if you're going to be buying stocks and you got several accounts for your stocks and all that kind of stuff. And then you go to like their iPad app and it's very simple. It's like very straightforward. It's beautiful. It looks, you don't really have to be trained on how to use it. That's kind of the target. That's kind of the goal that we want to kind of aim for. So like when I was in Virginia, I told the devs, I said, don't even call it a wallet anymore. It's not a wallet. This is way beyond a wallet. and we don't need to be looking backwards to like Bitcoin wallets to compare ourselves. We need to look forwards. Like let's look at the best software on the planet and say how can we make BitShares X as good as any software on the planet that just happens to be the decentralized software?
If it is not a wallet, what is the due name?
Well, the one thing I put on the site, if you go to the BitShares X site, is it's your virtual vault. We can't say bank, but I think virtual vault is good, or you could just say account. BitShares X accounts. There's several things you could say, but I mean, I'm not saying you can't call it a wallet. I'm just saying that's not what it is. Yeah. It's way beyond a wallet. It's a market. It's an entire market built into a client. So a virtual vault I think is kind of cool because it kind of says, okay, it's a safe place to put things. It's not really a bank, but we're still working on the metaphors. But all I'm saying is that we don't want to compare what we're doing to wallets that are out there, because that's yes, ours is way more cool than a wallet, but it's light years away from where it needs to be.
Yeah, I saw you. I visited the page during the and I like the graphics with the vault and the whole approach and your storyline, etc. It's a big improvement over salesmanship.
Thank you. Well, Cass is brilliant. He's a great designer. I give him some ideas. Absolutely. I give him ideas, and then he just does it. And I'm like, hey, what if we did this vault, and what if we do this, and then I write everything, and then we work together really well. So Cass is really the designer there, but I'm kind of the idea guy. But we're working on how to market it, what to call it, not to get ourselves in trouble, all that kind of stuff. But if you can open up BitShares X in the near future, and it looks as good as E-Trade or better, then now we've got something we can go market to the world, and that's the goal. The goal is to get it so that when you're using it, like Dan was saying a couple of weeks ago, you don't the technology is invisible. The blockchain is irrelevant. I mean, it's not irrelevant. It's important, but it doesn't mean anything to the average person. If you're on your bank, if you're on Wells Fargo and you're going to pay bills with bill pay, you don't need to see how the technology works. It's very complicated, technology, but you don't see any of that. All you see is just, oh, okay, that's where I send money. That's who I send it to. You just do it, and then you see your balance, and it's all very easy. But the software. So I guess what I'm saying is the fact that it's decentralized and it's peer to peer and all this stuff is very important. But the average person, all they want to know is, do I trust it, and do I want to use it, and is it easy to use, or do I just want to give up on this and not use it again? So if we can get it to that level, like with one of these trading platforms, for example, or trading software, then we got something that will be really, really, it could be viral. It could be something that everybody's excited. And I was just watching the documentary last night on Napster. It was so fascinating. If you guys haven't watched it, go on Netflix, watch the Napster documentary, because they built, the most badass peer-to-peer software, and it went from 30,000 users to 60 million in no time, all because it was easy, fairly easy to use, and it was lightning fast. And, it was just a really cool story. It really was. Unfortunately, it didn't end so good because the music industry decided to destroy him. But it's a great, great story. You should watch it.
I sold my little brother €10 worth of BitShares, and he actually was like excited as he saw that it's like now €25 worth, so more than twice.
Yeah, that was, I think, exciting for all of us of all ages yesterday and today.
Well, it's really what's exciting about what we're doing is that we're taking a proactive approach. In this industry, most people just kind of have the idea that if you build it, they will come, which worked with Bitcoin. Keep in mind, Satoshi built this thing and then he released it, and then it just happened. I mean, nobody really pushed it. Nobody had to go out there and actually do a marketing campaign for it. So because it was so revolutionary and it seemed to work and has been working, but the difference is, like with Ethereum or any of the 2.0s, they're saying, okay, I'm going to build it and it's going to be brilliant and people are going to come use it. But it doesn't really work that way. And even with BitShares X, it's as brilliant as it is and as cool as it is, I don't think people are just going to come use it. You have to translate it and market it. And if you believe the famous quote about business, there's only two things in business: there's innovation and then there's marketing. And that's true of anything. Apple would not be the company they were if they weren't great at marketing. They build great products, but they had to market them. And that marketing is the gateway to the users, and it's the way that you translate your amazing product to the people that are going to use it. And if you don't have the marketing, your great product just sits on the shelf. And so I want to make sure that doesn't happen. That's why we're taking a proactive approach, and it's very, very exciting because I'm I'm being humbled because I'm learning so much from these people about how this stuff works, and they assure me they're like, hey, we've done this many, many, many times. We know what you're seeing with your chart is what we see all the time. Like we literally, we go out there, we create a product, we launch it, and then we just watch, the number of users just, the dial starts spinning, and we just, the money comes in, and we know how to do this kind of stuff. If we do any kind of close success to the kind of success these guys have already had, we're going to be off to the races, and they're incentivized because they're putting their own money in. These guys are putting their own huge chunks of money in because they believe that they're going to make it worth a lot more than it is. And I'm not going to call what kind of price we're going to go to because I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but if BitShares goes to $1 a share, it would become $1 billion company. Or go to 50 cents a share, we become $1 billion organization or software. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility at all in the near future. And then if we can, solve the Bitcoin problems, which Dan thinks he can, then we could be a multi-billion-dollar, solution. So I don't think this is stuff that's pie in the sky.
Well, that's absolutely wonderful.
So get your hands on as much as you can. That's all I'm saying.
Well, out of curiosity, you say that you've told us in the past that you have your your thumb on the pulse of a lot of individuals who are gold bugs and silver bugs, and I bring up gold and silver bugs because there's just this huge untapped demographic that's really they see the manipulation. It's so obvious that there's manipulation, algorithmic trading manipulation on the markets, and the prices are fixed. Where do you stand? Have you heard anything as far as where these people stand on BitShares at this juncture, or do you talk to any of these types of people behind the scenes? And can you give us kind of like an idea of what they think?
Well, I'll be the first to admit that I'm a gold and silver bug. I've been a precious metals investor. In fact, most of my money was going into precious metals until I came on board with BitShares, and now it's all like BitShares. So, but no, I don't really talk to them. My friends are friends with the top people like Mike Maloney. I'm a big fan of Mike Maloney, and I think that that's a whole focus right there. I mean, if we get on Mike Maloney's mailing list, I mean, holy crap, dude. I mean, we can go out there and tell people, look, you like gold, you like silver? Well, you should check BitGold, BitSilver out. Let us explain to you why it has value, how it can't be manipulated like the paper silver markets and paper gold markets are manipulated. And once you go down that rabbit hole, you start learning what they're actually doing to suppress the price of gold and silver. It's absolutely shocking. I was talking to Dan the other day about, Dan, okay, if they got paper gold, paper silver, what makes what we're doing different? How is the bit gold, bit silver different? How is it, all that kind of stuff? And what would happen in the case where silver and gold shoot way up and there's a currency collapse? And we talk about all these kind of things. But I think they're very important because those are people that already look at it like, hey, I don't want my money in the system. I want it in gold. I want it in silver. And believe me, I'm always going to be a gold and silver guy. I'm not going to hold everything I have in crypto. I just don't believe in that. I believe in diversification. I made a lot of money and lost a lot of money in my life because I kept it all in one asset class. That's the biggest mistake you could ever make, is keeping all your wealth in one asset. So don't do that. Even if you just put 10%, 10%, 80%, you should have some other assets in case one asset collapses, namely the real estate bubble that I rode up and down. So, I think that's a great way to go. Those people, you don't have to preach to them that the Federal Reserve and the monetary system is corrupt. They already know it. So they're great. They would love this kind of stuff. But and I know that Maloney is doing videos on Bitcoin now. So he's actually supportive of Bitcoin. Before he was like, I don't know what that is. Now he's like doing videos on it. So if you guys don't know who Mike Maloney is, you should check him out. Go to goldsilver.com and watch his whole video series on the monetary system, and it'll blow your mind, because then you can really understand the way the world works with money. But if there's a monetary collapse, when there's a monetary collapse and we have a major worldwide global monetary crisis, people are going to flood into gold, they're going to flood into silver, and I think they're going to flood into crypto. They're going to go anywhere that's not, the normal financial, world. But just so you guys know, I have to go here in a few minutes. But You know, the delegates are going to become more and more recognizable people, because as this grows bigger, the delegate spots are going to be much more competitive, and they're going to be much more valuable. So you're not going to be able to just sit back and have people voting for you unless people know who you are, because the number of users that'll grow on the network is going to be all these people that have no clue who, you know, Buzznuts is, for example, from the forum. They're just going to be on using it. And so you got to get the market out to say, look, hey, you heard about this through us, vote for us as a delegate, you know, that kind of thing. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Okay, yeah, certainly. Well, hey guys, I appreciate you letting me talk. I know I had a lot to say, but I'm just very excited about what's happening. And
we are too.
And I'm just telling you that this is really not a fluke. It's not. You know, who knows? We may have a correction.
Pump and dump.
It's not a pump and dump, I promise you. And it's not only that. It's just the beginning. I mean, this is not like going to 3 cents or 4 cents or 5 cents. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing, because the price is going to go. I just know I know the amount of money that's coming in, and I know what our plans are and how it's going to work. And I'm just very, very excited about the future. And I just cannot wait till we're number 2, and then we can start having this discussion about Bitcoin and, you know, what's better than Bitcoin. And believe me, we're going to also market that as an idea. We're going to get the marketing and own the marketing and change the perception that there has to be a replacement to Bitcoin, and that's going to be our system. So,
may I give an advice when it comes to battling Bitcoin or battling with Bitcoin? We should really not and never forget that all of this was basically made possible because of Bitcoin.
Yes,
or
agree.
especially Satoshi. And I think it's not meant to be a battle between BitShares and Bitcoin. It's more like, we need to choose decent words. Let's say
yes,
that way.
I agree. And it's not the idea is that we're going to destroy Bitcoin. The idea is just that we're going to give people an alternative, and we're going to compete in the arena of capitalism and the arena of ideas. And if we really believe that what we're doing is better for users and better for people and more profitable and doesn't waste, Bitcoin's the least green technology there is. I mean, it's just completely wasteful for no good purpose and so we can get this message out, then we can, Bitcoin may not go away. It might just be that suddenly now there's an alternative. BitShares is doing something that is on the same level as Bitcoin. That's what I'm saying. I don't hate Bitcoin or have anything against it or think we need to destroy it. But all I'm saying is that our idea is as big as Bitcoin or bigger, and that's where we're headed. So if you can get your brain around that we're going to be in the billions. I mean, it took me a long time to believe that, because Dan would always talk about billions and trillions of dollars, and I was just like, whatever, and I didn't really believe it. But believe me, I'm now one of the I've drank the Kool-Aid.
Well, and I've read somewhere on the forums somebody made the analogy between Alta Vista and Yahoo and Google, and how there was a time when Alta Vista was it.
That was me. That was me. Actually, the speech I just gave to Cryptolina, that was the exact talk I gave. I gave the talk of the 5 waves of technology. And one of the waves was the internet, and that Alta Vista was the first major search engine, and it was like the killer app supposedly. And it wasn't about the websites; it was about the internet. And that's why I said that Bitcoin is like a website, and the blockchain and decentralized ledgers and all that stuff is the internet. And so look at it that way. Yes, it's the top dog, but it's a website. It's a one-trick pony in a way. It's a very big pony, but it's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, she's still a big pony. I'll agree with you on that.
Oh yeah, it's a colossal giant. It's the big elephant in the room. But it's got weaknesses. It's got things that could be improved about it. And maybe we'll just be there to kind of improve Bitcoin and come out with a Bitcoin 2.0. I mean, Dan was talking about that with Vitalik. How could you just change it and turn it over to DPoS and honor everybody that has it? And I mean, there's different solutions, but bit assets is a whole nother animal altogether, because it allows you to move between all these different assets instantaneously. I mean, where can you do that? I mean, the dollar collapses, so what? You go to BitGold instantly. I mean, it's just amazing stuff.